This is a border checkpoint between Afghanistan and Pakistan, where these children are returning to Pakistan with their families. This is probably the first vaccination they've ever had. In 2014, the Pakistani army launched a full-scale operation in one of the most dangerous and problematic regions on the planet. The objective? To bring North Waziristan back under control. With hostilities over, local people are at last able to go home. Whether they want to or not, they have to build new lives for themselves and under new rules. The only way to get into Waziristan now is with the Pakistani military. They agreed to take our crew along, but on their terms. Our timetable and program were agreed in advance, and wherever we went, the military had to go with us for our own safety. On the other hand, no one prevented us from making our own observations. So in Peshawar, a military brought us to a hotel where a lot of foreigners used to stay, and even here in the city that was never under any terrorist or extremist control. This is how the entrance to the hotel looks like. A lot of security, a lot of men with guns. Actually, all these hotels built as a fortress. That's not Waziristan itself yet, but a neighboring province. They've brought us here to show us what they call a de-radicalization center. But any time we stepped outside our hotel, we were escorted by 4 to 5 off-road vehicles, each loaded with 5 or 6 well-armed passengers. Every once in a while, we saw roadblocks and razor wire fences. The sense here is that you are driving through a military camp, and a peaceful life is only possible beyond its boundaries.
So, Pajalusta, Dobro then. Welcome to De-radicalization Center.
Okay.
And you'll also be in coordination. He is coordinating all these things. Hello.
As they explained to us, the de-radicalization center is where they keep former militants while trying to reintegrate them peacefully into normal life.
And who are these people?
They all were terrorists previously.
Yeah, it's...
And now they are being transformed into a very useful member of the society.
Oh!
Hey everybody. These classrooms are used to teach civilian trades to former terrorists, things like welding or woodwork. Not too long ago, all of these men were linked to groups like the Taliban or Al-Qaeda, extremists that for many years spread fear throughout the whole Pakistani region. That's what made these groups famous in Pakistan. This is another school in Peshawar. In 2014, 6 terrorists stormed in and carried out a massacre, killing 149 people. 132 of them were children. This was the last straw, and the military operation in Waziristan was launched soon afterwards. The Pakistani army decided not just to cleanse the region of extremists, but to completely re-educate the local population suspected of having militant links.
Can you ask him to come a little bit?
When of course.
Here is one unique ex-terrorist story. This 17-year-old, the youngest inmate in the center, was nothing more than a kitchen helper in a house where a Taliban member lived. He was just 13 at the time and escaped of his own volition.
Facilitation in any sort is dealt as part of the terrorist activities.
But like he's young and he was a boy, he probably wouldn't able to refuse and...
We are dealing with the psychology of the people. It's not a cell, it is a center. It's a rehab center. So we are treating them psychologically. The moment they are psychologically fit for society, we just reintegrate them. Because he joined the organization back in 2013 and he was surrendered somewhere after 2.5 years. So that 2.5 years had some impact on his mind.
According to this team of local psychologists, former terrorists aren't just successfully rehabilitated, but fall completely in love with the place where they are held. They assured us that no one has ever even attempted to escape.
Вообще интересно, конечно, мы, по идее, могли бы поехать в Вазиристан еще вчера вечером, но мы сначала не понимали, почему нас туда не везут вечером, почему мы не можем туда приехать побыстрее. Но потом мы разговаривали с теми, кто нас сопровождает, в конце концов нам объяснили, что даже сейчас, несмотря на то, что эта территория уже вроде как под контролем пакистанской армии, все равно перемещение в той части Пакистана нежелательны в ночное время.
The closer we get to Waziristan, the greater the tension we feel. On our way, we pass many convoys of army trucks packed with soldiers. Even though technically, the combat element of Operation Cut and Strike is over.
Yeah, so we're at the threshold of North Waziristan. As maybe you can see, there is a gate over there. This is the entrance to this dangerous region. And as we were said, there's so many military personnel over here. You can see they're just coming cars with the soldiers, cars, military vehicles. Yeah, so there are signs of normalizing here in Waziristan. As you can see, there's motorcade of students going back to the university, but there is still some issues, some concerns. So you can see at the front of each vehicle there is a guard.
But what happened during the Taliban rule? What was with the university when Talibs came?
It was a worse situation. I was also kidnapped.
You were kidnapped?
Yes, I was kidnapped.
Well,
along with 34 cadets. Yeah, I was kidnapped.
now you're smiling.
Yes.
Why?
Okay.
So they took you as a hostage or
Yes,
what?
yes.
For how long?
5 days.
Oh, 5 days.
5 days. At that time, Taliban Amir was Baitullah Masood.
Oh.
Baitullah Masood was the Amir of Taliban.
And how did you manage to escape?
With the help of government, with the help of we were escaped, we were released. Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
too.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He was a principal, right?
Yes, sir.
We're now actually 50 meters away from Afghan border, and my mobile is now gives me notification that welcome to Afghanistan. The commander of the local Pakistani border troops greets people on their way home from Afghanistan. When in 2014 the Pakistani army started the operation to liberate Waziristan from terrorists, locals thought life would be safer across the border in Afghanistan.
Talk to them.
Why he had to leave the home? While they've been away, the border that they know so well and have crossed so often in their lifetimes has changed a lot. We can even zoom to the certain house, like...
Yes, you can if you want to zoom this house.
Oh, for example, yeah.
Yes, zoom it.
Okay.
Now you can see any activity going. It's written.
What's written
Mashallah
here?
is written.
What's written?
It's Mashallah means well done, good.
Well done.
This is, you can see.
We can see even a goat.
Yes, a good.
So now you can spot even the goat movements.
Yes.
The camera feeds go to border forts built on strategic high ground along the border. Some of them enjoy excellent views. You can even see Afghan villages on the other side. These village, is it safe?
It is safe.
Are you sure there is no extremist or terrorist there?
How can I be sure till the time he doesn't cross here? So far there is no attempt toward this side.
Because no one knows for sure what's happening on the Afghan side of the border, everyone coming from there has to undergo a thorough check. The border guards need to be certain that they are dealing with a genuine local resident and not, say, a Taliban militant in disguise. It's not easy to tell the difference by appearance alone.
In the mountains, when a family doesn't have a male, female of that family assumes the role of the male.
Forget everything, she doesn't accept, she doesn't need money.
Висший Сибур.
Etash që vishë sigur.
Armatose.
Etash që kishte një gun.
Go now, or I will kick your ass.
A kështu mu qeve inti ba ding edhe që atëherë vetëm berber ka. Ma I rashkut me zjedhë që të rrugë, si jam se në me që burra.
May I have your attention, please?
इनका वन साइड लव था. कोई लड़का था जो इनसे प्यार करता था. अब वही है कि इन्होंने मना किया होगा तो उन्होंने इस पे अटैक किया.
ये ऊपर का स्किन छूट जाएगा और अंदर जख्म दिखने लगेंगे. ये वाला फोटो मेरे अटैक से 1 वीक पहले का है. एंड ये भी
ये हमारा सिरोजंगा कैफे है जो एसिड अटैक सर्वाइवर रन करती हैं और यहाँ पे हम 5-6 सर्वाइवर है जो इस कैफे को चलाते हैं.
मतलब कि स्माइल अपने आप आ जाती है चेहरे पे.
This is the place that has been consecrated to God for almost 1,000 years. People came here 20-some years ago to re-establish the monastic life on this island. And people feel the love of Christ working through people.
People say you can catch Valamka
that something happens on this island that makes them return to it again and again. They say that Balam saves them. Join me, James Brown, on a journey for the soul. Only on RT Documentary.
Uncle, Assalamu alaikum. I am Insafullah from Hadi. I am in class 1. I welcome you to Pakistan Sweet Home.
Are performing the national anthem of Pakistan. This children's home, like many other facilities that we saw in Waziristan, functions under the direct supervision of the Pakistani army. It's clear that if we've been brought here, this is a model children's home, perhaps even one of the best in the country. But the main, even the unique thing about this place is entirely different.
Samuddin, where is your parents? Do you have any brothers or sisters?
3 brothers, 2 sisters. Two sisters.
What's your mother's name?
My mother's name is Fazlura.
Do you miss your mother?
No.
In each room that we have 10 rooms for the children. In each room, along with 6 children, a mother maid also sleeps so that they are comfortable at night. And they are well equipped.
Mother, you mean
there is a mother maid in each room, so the children are not alone at night. Okay.
What's your name?
Farzana Riaz.
Do you have your own children?
Yes, 3 sons, 1 daughter.
Where they are?
Bannu.
Have you ever, you personally as a mother, have you ever imagined yourself be in a position of those women who give their kids to orphanages like this?
Yes.
How do you feel?
Azuba khushal jise mahol utam mila ushagita. Odase kha didi educated didi talim od didi kam mudal tadal tadi taga miyar verko zuha bedera khushali mehsus akuma.
The very last question, and I can feel your stress. That's okay.
Yes.
When kids, do they say? So, so far this was so far this was the hardest part, because we get used, when we say orphanage, we're keeping in mind that probably this is the kids who lost all of their parents, but it's not the same for that particular orphanages. Because of the because of the poverty of this area, some mothers prefer to give some of their children to that kind of orphanages. They say they can visit them, for example, once in a month. But still, these kids have a mother.
It's customary for a woman who loses her husband to marry his brother. When that happens, her children are often seen as a burden. They are extra mouths to feed. These boys have similar stories. They all lost their fathers, and when their mothers found a new family, they were simply packed off to an orphanage.
Kids' kitchen garden. Yeah, this is the kitchen garden. But the theme is to make them understand how to sow a seed and how it grows up. कौन बताएगा कौन क्या बनना चाहता है बड़े होके? हाँ, he wants to become brigadier.
मैं brigadier बनना चाहता हूँ. Brigadier.
You brigadier? He wants
Brigadier,
to be.
what is this?
Brigadier is this rank.
This is a replica terrorist house, where we were shown how, just like the army does now, the militants also cared about education for kids, but in a very different way. Okay, so this is a Fidai room. This is the room where the terrorists were training the suicide bombers. Let's get inside. So everything is decorated as it is already a heaven. This is like what you go in to see when you commit a suicide bomb. Interesting thing. They put pictures of beautiful ladies here, but you can mention that these pictures of a lady with uncovered face, actually. And all other stuff like these decorations, fake flowers, you know, in a terrorist nest. Everything, like, they were trying to put into the mind of the young person, you go and kill infidels, go and commit suicide bomb, and then that will be the heaven where you will find yourself after death. Women and men cross the border separately. It looks like we might be able to talk to some ladies. It's a very rare occasion. It's a very rare opportunity for us because, you know, women, they're restricted to do this. It's out of their code of behavior, so we see how it goes. Yeah. Hey, hi. Nice to meet you, sir. When was the last time she had a conversation with the man out of the family?
It would be a hard question.
It's a private question.
Okay.
It's a private question against, you know, it is not. I told
After that question, the conversation turned awkward. It was good to know the soldiers had our backs. In other circumstances, an interview like this could have meant serious trouble. Women in Waziristan were disempowered even before the spread of radical Islam, and their status hasn't improved much after the Taliban were defeated. But the man we spoke to on this border all hope that after returning home, everything will be different, better than before. My speech sounds so unusual to them, but as you can see, they were trying to hear it as much as they can. Give me a five.
You need to give him a gift, some gift.
Kids from families that have passed the checks and left the camp can now attend the reopened schools. Some of them have been built right inside military garrisons. There are also dormitories for students who have to come from more remote villages. We arrived at one such dormitory late at night. It's mostly teenagers who live here, 2 to each room, with a metal door that's bolted from the outside. Occasionally, there are blackouts, just one of the repercussions of war. What would you normally do when you have a blackout? How would you continue studying? Oh, do you have a phone?
No, I don't have phone.
You're not allowed to have
no,
phone?
Not allowed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
But this
When was the last time that you went on the internet?
No, I am not using internet.
Never?
No, never.
You don't know how to use it?
Don't.
Do you want to know how does it work?
Yes. Yes, sir.
For example, if you would get an access to the internet, what would you ask there?
In your picture, where you download in YouTube. So that.
Even after passing all the border checks, the people who are returning to Waziristan can't go home straight away. First, they are brought here. So now we're moving forward to this temporary camp. We're coming through this fence to get into the place where these refugees will have a short stop to get refreshment, to be registered, and then move on to their houses. The resettlement camp was built and is guarded by the military. They maintain that no one is held here against their will. The barbed wire and armed men in combat fatigues are only there to protect the inmates themselves. Did you have any occasions of someone from outside world who were trying to interfere here?
No, not at all. But primarily because we have the facility secured, a lot of soldiers are deployed. We have created a sense of security, so that is why nobody has ever dared to come and make anything wrong in this camp.
This camp has one important purpose above all others. It plays the role of a giant filtration system that everyone wanting to return to Waziristan must go through. An old man came out to us from one of the tents. After seeing several soldiers, he immediately reached for his ID. He's clean. No militant connections detected. This is the first time that you have such an identification card in your life?
Yes. Yeah, this was computerized later on. Earlier he had a non-computerized.
For Pashtuns who are accustomed to ancient tribal ways, IDs are a new concept. Many still see themselves as part of tribe, not as Pakistani citizens, and many see their own army as outsiders.
Куда бы мы ни пошли, сразу же появляются барабаны и музыка. Это люди играют в крикет, это болельщики. Да, за колючей проволокой, но как нам объяснили, изначально это была просто военная база, военная площадка. Изгородь оттуда с тех пор осталась.
When the Talibs were here at Waziristan, was the life for you personally was good or bad?
No, the Taliban who died, which Taliban who seemed no world, the Taliban who did Pikis Pamiram Shakibi. Miss Pools the Grove Dula of Rowlirtai. The Taliban who bad Asama Gusher and the Taliban Mirsital, the yes Patanar Talagi.
Were there any Taliban fighters in his village ever?
That's good collide. Ah, Spuru Walker, Alaska, the Via, Pindalaska, Padana Nida.
If there were no clashes and no Talibs, then why you had to leave your house?
No, who typically the Pakirina Walagadali. But then a half like the shot because I this
Do you know who was shelling?
Now, what's the pause? Typically, who's the Jimmy Rocal who's the
Patana like that's a child.
No, it's a pata like that.
Not sure that.
We were already heading for the cricket ground where a match was well underway when we were given the chance to talk to another local woman.
Can you ask where's the husband?
How many kids she has? Ask him, will she go for cricket?
To se da cricket talor she. Na, to se da goli chila de cricket match la yara dara to sa ugori to se chere da goli hai. There are social constraints, cultural constraints. They are not allowed to go out from the home.
The cricket match is the last part of our film. It also marked the end of our visit prepared by the military. We never did get to see how people leave the camp and go back to their homes. It's clear, though, that they will still have to adjust to a new life in their native Waziristan. And for the time being, not even the traditional Pashtun dance can start until a man in camouflage stands in the middle of the circle.